A biological cell is a survival machine. For billions of years, evolution has rewarded the organisms that consume resources, outcompete rivals, and multiply at all costs. It raises a difficult question. Why would an entity wired for total self-interest ever share its resources or trust a complete stranger? Yet, human civilization is built on the opposite behavior. We inhabit sprawling cities, engaging global trade with people we've never met, and rely on massive networks of cooperation to sustain our daily lives. In the 1940s, mathematician John von Neumann proposed that this isn't a result of philosophical goodness. Instead, he argued that human cooperation is governed by the same rigid mathematical laws that describe physical systems. From this perspective, morality isn't a soft social construct. It is the calculated output of equations governing interactive survival. This field is known as game theory, the mathematical study of how people make decisions when their success depends on the choices of others. Some interactions are zero-sum games. These are closed loops. For one player to win a $10 chip at this table, another player must lose exactly $10. One person's gain is subtracted directly from another's well-being. But biology and economics usually operate as non-zero-sum games. These are environments where two players can combine their efforts to create a surplus, leaving both with more resources than they had individually. Because the world allows for these mutual gains, pure isolated selfishness carries an opportunity cost. If you cannot coordinate with others to unlock that surplus, you are leaving resources on the table, setting the stage for a world where cooperation becomes a strategic necessity. If cooperation creates more resources for everyone, then why is human history saturated with war, theft, and betrayal? To find the answer, researchers at the Rand Corporation analyzed a mathematical trap that forces logical beings to destroy one another. They called it the prisoner's dilemma. Imagine two criminals arrested and placed in separate cells. They cannot communicate. If both stay silent, cooperating with each other, the police can only give them 1 year each for a minor charge. If both confess and betray each other, they both get 5 years. But if you stay silent and your partner betrays you, they walk free and you serve the maximum 10-year sentence. The environment weaponizes risk. It makes trust a massive mathematical liability. Walk through the logic. If your partner stays silent, you get 0 years by betraying them. If they betray you, you're better off betraying them back to avoid the 10-year sentence. From the perspective of a single player, it is always mathematically rational to betray your partner. Because both players are rational, they both reach the exact same conclusion independently. This is the Nash Equilibrium, named after John Nash. It is a state where no player can improve their outcome by changing their strategy. For the prisoners, the Nash Equilibrium is a trap. They are locked into a world of betrayal and mutual ruin, forced to serve 5 years each, even though they both know that staying silent would have limited the damage to just 1 year. This proof suggests that perfect mathematical rationality doesn't lead to the best outcome. It can actively generate our destruction. If the laws of pure logic push us toward mutual ruin, human civilization shouldn't exist. Yet we smoothly move through the modern world and interact with strangers every day with almost no friction. The prisoner's dilemma has a flaw. It assumes the interaction only happens once. But we rarely interact in a vacuum. We deal with the same neighbors, businesses, and peers repeatedly. This is an iterative game, and when you add a timeline to the math, the landscape changes. This is the shadow of the future. Because you know you will have to deal with these people again tomorrow, the cost of betraying them today increases. Short-term selfish calculations begin to look like long-term strategic errors. When mathematicians ran computer simulations of these repeated games, one simple algorithm consistently defeated every other strategy. It's called tit for tat. The rules are simple. You cooperate on the first move, and in every round after that, you simply copy whatever your opponent did in the previous round. Tit for tat is dominant. It punishes betrayal instantly, but forgives just as fast, returning to mutual gain. Over thousands of rounds, this mechanism systematically eliminates chronic betrayers. Starved of resources, they vanish, while cooperators thrive by trading with each other. This suggests that traits like trust, forgiveness, and cooperation are not just polite societal choices. They are high-functioning survival algorithms. the mathematical patterns that allow a selfish species to endure in a dangerous universe.